Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to live a life of abundance, impact, and significance, there are 10 things you must work on every single day. Not just when you feel like it, not just when it's convenient, every single day. Because what you do daily determines what you become permanently. The first thing you must work on every day is your mind. Your mind is the battlefield. Every decision, every behavior, every breakthrough starts with a thought. If you don't control your thoughts will control you. You must feed your mind truth, not trash. Read things that elevate your spirit. Listen to things that sharpen your thinking, and guard against anything that weakens your resolve. If your mindset is broken, your money will be broken. If your mindset is average, your life will stay average. But if you renew your mind daily, success becomes inevitable. Second, you must work on your belief system, because you will never rise higher than what you believe is possible for you. Every limitation in your life began as a lie you believed. And here's the truth. You were created to dominate, not to be dominated. You were designed for mastery, not mediocrity. But if you don't believe that, it won't matter how much potential you have, you'll sabotage yourself every time. So you have to challenge every belief that says you're not enough. You've got to uproot every mental weed that says you can't, and replace it with truth that says you already have everything you need. Third, you must work on your discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Winners aren't motivated all the time, but they are disciplined all the time. Discipline builds consistency, and consistency builds trust, not just with others, but with yourself. When you become the kind of person who keeps promises to yourself, you start to believe in your ability to change. Discipline is the bridge between the vision in your head and the reality you want to live in. Fourth, you must work on your speech. Words are not just sound, they are seeds. What you speak, you sow. Your life right now is a harvest of words you've spoken over time. Every day you've got to speak life, not death. Possibility, not limitation. Faith, not fear. Don't just talk about what is. Talk about what will be. Call things that are not as though they were. Declare where you're going, even if it doesn't look like it yet, because your words will shape your reality long before your actions catch up. Fifth, you must work on your goals. A person with no clear goal is like a ship with no rudder. It's just floating around, hoping the current takes them somewhere nice. Every day you need to remind yourself of where you're going and why it matters. Write your goals down, look at them, speak them out loud. Your goals must be so clear and compelling that they pull you out of bed even on days you don't feel like moving. Clarity creates urgency, and urgency births action. The sixth thing you must work on is your skills. Money doesn't flow to time, it flows to value. And value comes from skill. You don't get paid for what you know, you get paid for what you can do with what you know. Every day ask yourself, am I more valuable today than I was yesterday? Are my skills sharper, deeper, and more relevant? If not, you're falling behind. If you want to rise, you've got to grow. Learn faster, execute better, and focus on mastery, not mediocrity. Seventh, you must work on your health, because if you lose your health, you lose your energy, and if you lose your energy, you lose your momentum. Your body is the vessel that carries your purpose. You can't serve at a high level if you're always tired, sick, or worn down. So move your body, fuel it well, rest it intentionally, and treat it like the temple it is. High performers don't burn out, they build rhythms that keep them operating at full capacity. Eighth, you must work on your relationships. Success is never a solo sport. Who you walk with determines how far you go. Every day, build, repair, and strengthen your relationships. Surround yourself with people who stretch your vision, not shrink it. People who hold you accountable, not let you slide. People who see greatness in you even when you forget it's there. And most importantly, you be that person for others. Because when you add value to people, value comes back to you multiplied. Ninth, you must work on your financial intelligence. Money doesn't stay with people who don't understand it. Every day, study money, learn how it works, learn how to make it, multiply it, and manage it. Stop working for money and start making money work for you. Wealth is not a miracle, it's a mindset and a method. And if you work on it daily, you'll move from survival to stability, from stability to success, and from success to significance. And finally, number 10, you must work on your spirit, your soul, your connection to purpose. Because if you gain the world but lose your peace, it's not worth it. You were born with divine DNA. You were created on purpose, with purpose, for purpose. Every day spend time in gratitude, meditate, pray, be still, listen. Real power comes from alignment. When your spirit is aligned, your steps become ordered. When your spirit is nourished, your vision becomes clear. When your spirit is strong, nothing can shake you. So there you have it. 10 things, not once a year, not once a week, every single day. If you will commit to these 10, not perfectly, but consistently, your life will transform. Your income will grow, your impact will multiply, and your legacy will be undeniable. Work on these things, not for applause, not for validation, but because you were born to be excellent, you were born to lead, you were born to rise. Now go do it. If you want to change your life, the first foundation you must lay is the understanding that everything starts with faith and personal responsibility. Nothing in your external world will shift until something changes in your internal world. Faith is not just about what you believe spiritually, it's about what you expect every day of your life. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That means even when you don't see the result yet, you walk, speak, and act like it's already done. Faith isn't a feeling, it's a decision. It's a posture of certainty in a future you've been promised. But faith without responsibility is fantasy. You can't pray for increase and keep practicing lack. You can't hope for a new level and stay married to your old excuses. At some point, you must take full ownership of your life. That means no more blaming your past, your parents, your environment, or your situation. As long as you're blaming something outside of you, you're giving it power over you. But the moment you say, if it's to be, it's up to me, everything shifts. That's when your power is activated. You were not created to be a victim of your circumstances. You were created to be a steward over them. Life may not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. That doesn't mean everything that happened to you is right, but it does mean your healing, your growth, your success, that's on you. Every day, you wake up with two choices: make progress or make excuses. One leads to freedom, the other leads to frustration. So combine unshakable faith with relentless responsibility. Believe that what's in you is greater than what's around you, and then prove it with your actions. That's how leaders are born. That's how destiny is fulfilled. When you move in faith and take full responsibility, you become unstoppable. Wealth doesn't come from the hours you put in. It comes from the value you bring to the table. There are people who work 10-hour shifts every day and still struggle to make ends meet, while others make more in 1 hour than some make in a month. The difference isn't time, it's value. If you want to increase your income, stop asking, how can I work more? And start asking, how can I become more valuable? Money is a reward for solving problems. The bigger the problem you solve, and the more people you solve it for, the more money will flow to you. You can't multiply your income if you're only thinking in terms of hours. That's a limited model. Time is fixed. Value is scalable. Time says I worked 8 hours. Value says I built something that makes money even when I sleep. That's the difference between trading time for dollars and building systems that generate wealth. If you're just showing up, clocking in and going through the motions, you're not building wealth. You're renting your life out by the hour. And there will always be a ceiling on that. To increase your value, you have to develop your skills, your thinking, and your ability to execute. You have to ask yourself every day, how am I making life better for others? Because money follows usefulness. Your paycheck is not a reflection of how hard you work. It's a reflection of how hard your work is to replace. The more rare, refined and relevant your contribution, the more the marketplace will reward you. Wealthy people don't ask, what does this pay? They ask, what problem does this solve? They're not chasing dollars. They're chasing purpose, impact, and leverage. And when you move like that, money becomes a byproduct of your purpose. So if you want to grow your wealth, stop counting hours and start creating value. Build something, serve someone, solve something, elevate the way you think, and the income will follow. Because wealth doesn't chase time, it chases value. Everybody wants results, but not everyone wants routine. Everybody wants to win, but not everyone wants to work daily in alignment with that desire. Discipline is the difference between wishing for something and walking in it. It's the bridge that carries your dreams from the realm of intention into the world of manifestation. Without discipline, goals are just fantasies. With it, impossible things become inevitable. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It's showing up when your emotion screams, stay in bed. It's making the call when fear says, wait until tomorrow. It's investing the money when comfort says, spend it now. You don't become successful because you're always motivated. You become successful because you are consistently disciplined. Motivation fades, emotions fluctuate, but discipline holds steady. A success doesn't respond to your intentions, it responds to your habits. You can speak affirmations all day long, but if your actions don't match your declarations, you'll never see the fruit. If you say you want financial freedom but keep making broke decisions, your behavior cancels out your belief. Discipline is what aligns your behavior with your belief. It turns good intentions into tangible outcome. It makes the invisible visible. The reason most people stay stuck is because they keep starting over. Every time they get off track, they quit and wait for inspiration to strike again. But those who build greatness don't wait for perfect conditions. They create consistent conditions. They build habits, they master routines, they do the boring things with excellence. That's the secret nobody wants to hear. It's not glamorous, but it works. Discipline isn't punishment, it's alignment. It's the daily expression of commitment. And every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust in yourself. You begin to believe on a deep level that you're the kind of person who follows through. And once you believe that, your confidence rises, your energy shifts, your results compound. Because discipline isn't just about what you do, it's about who you're becoming while you do it. So if you want entertaining thoughts of limitation, that's why your mindset must be renewed daily. Because the world is constantly trying to program you with fear, scarcity, doubt, and distraction. If you don't renew your mind, by default, you conform to whatever the world throws at you. But if you do the work to renew it, you rise above it. Every day, you wake up with a choice to be ruled by yesterday's patterns or to create today's possibilities. Mind renewal is not a one-time event. It's a daily discipline. It's actively choosing what thoughts you allow to live in your mind. It's deciding what voices you listen to, what ideas you dwell on, and what beliefs you reinforce. Because every thought you consistently entertain becomes a belief, every belief becomes a behavior, and every behavior produces results. If your mindset stays the same, your life will stay the same. You can change your job, change your relationship, change your environment, but if you don't change how you think, you'll eventually recreate the same problems in a new setting. You can't outwork a broken mindset, and you can't outperform the beliefs you hold about yourself. That's why you've got to challenge every lie that says you're not enough. You've got to confront every pattern of self-sabotage and replace it with a pattern of self-belief. But you don't need more information, you need transformation. And transformation happens when you renew your mind, when you start feeding it with truth, with vision, with purpose, when you stop letting the past define you and start letting the future pull you, when you stop asking, what if it goes wrong, and start asking, what if it works? That shift alone can change everything. You have to get intentional about what you allow into your mind. What are you reading? Who are you listening to? What are you rehearsing over and over again? Your results will never rise above the quality of your thoughts. And if your thinking is outdated, your future will be too. That's why mindset renewal is daily, not weekly, not monthly, but daily. Just like you clean your body, you have to clean your mind, because a polluted mind produces a polluted life. So take back your mind, fill it with what empowers you, speak over yourself, declare who you are becoming, visualize your future, not your fears. Because when your mind changes, your life has no choice but to follow. Your words are not just sounds that come out of your mouth. They are creative forces. They shape the atmosphere around you, influence the direction of your life, and even impact how others perceive and respond to you. Every time you speak, you're either building your future or breaking it down. You're either speaking life or you're speaking limitation. The truth is, your world is a reflection of the words you've been consistently speaking over time. If you want to change your life, start by changing your language. Most people don't realize that the words they casually speak are planting seeds, and every seed grows, whether it's good or bad. When you say things like, I'm always broke, I never catch a break, nothing ever works out for me, you're not just venting. You're writing a script for your future. You're giving your subconscious mind instructions to follow. You're reinforcing beliefs that build invisible cages, but when you speak power, faith, purpose, and possibility, you give your mind new orders. You tell your life which direction to move in. Words have energy, they carry intention, they create expectation. That's why you've got to be deliberate with what you say, not just about yourself, but about your circumstances, your finances, your relationships, and your goals. Don't say what you don't want. Speak what you expect. Declare what's possible, not just what's present. Because when you speak from vision instead of from fear, your life will start rising to the level of your declaration. This isn't about ignoring reality. It's about rewriting it. It's about choosing to align your words with where you're going, not where you've been. Every time you open your mouth, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. So ask yourself, are my words lifting me up or tearing me down? Are they reinforcing doubt or building confidence? Are they setting limits or creating space for expansion? Your words don't just impact you, they impact your environment. People respond to your energy, and your words broadcast that energy. Speak with boldness. Speak with clarity. Speak with the authority of someone who knows who they are and where they're going. Speak life into others. Speak solutions into problems. Speak abundance into places of lack. So guard your tongue like a sword. Use it with wisdom. Use it to create, not destroy, because whether you realize it or not, your world is following your words. If you want to shift your life, start by shifting your language. Speak the future into the present. Call yourself successful even when you're still building. Declare victory even when the battle isn't over. Because the more you speak it, the more you believe it. And what you believe, you begin to live. Success doesn't come from what you do once in a while. It comes from what you do every single day. Your daily habits are the compound interest of your character, your discipline, and your direction. Small actions repeated consistently over time don't just add up, they multiply. That's the principle most people ignore. They want the breakthrough without the process, the result without the routine, the fruit without the planting and watering. But everything great is built in the repetition of small, intentional actions done day after day. What you do daily, you become permanently. That's why habits matter. It's not about perfection, it's about direction. 1% better each day doesn't feel like much in the moment, but over time it produces exponential results. The reason most people don't see change isn't because they're doing the wrong things. It's because they don't do the right things long enough. They start, stop, get distracted, lose momentum, and go back to the familiar. But the ones who win are the ones who stay consistent even when they don't see the reward yet, because they understand the reward is in the rhythm. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Your habits are your systems. They determine how you think, how you feel, how you respond, and ultimately what you produce. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to identify the right habits and lock them in daily. A 15-minute reading habit turns into a mind transformed. A 30-minute workout turns into a body full of energy. A few intentional moments of planning turns into a business that scales. Don't underestimate what feels small, because small hinges swing big doors. Your future is hidden in your routine. If I look at your habits, I can predict your outcome. That's how powerful they are. If you're inconsistent, your results will be inconsistent. If you're disciplined, your life will start to reflect that discipline in every area. So don't just aim to be motivated, aim to be methodical. Build rituals that anchor you to your purpose. Automate excellence. Make winning your default setting by setting up habits that pull you forward, even when your emotions try to pull you back. What's easy to do is also easy not to do. That's the danger. Skipping a day feels harmless, but 2 days become 2 weeks, and before you know it, you've drifted. That's why you must protect your habits like treasure, because they're the foundation of everything you're building. When you master your habits, you master your life. When you master your consistency, you unlock momentum. And once momentum kicks in, everything gets easier. Not because life changes, but because you've changed. So decide today what kind of future you want, and then design habits that match it. Start small, stay steady, and let the power of compounding go to work. Because what you do daily will either destroy your destiny or deliver it. The choice is yours. Every day you wake up, you're given the most powerful opportunity on earth. The power to choose who you will become. Not just with your dreams, but with your decisions. Not just with your intentions, but with your habits, your words, your thoughts, and your actions. Success is not a secret, it's a system. And that system is built on what you do daily. Root yourself in faith, because belief is the foundation of transformation. Take full responsibility, because nothing changes until you own your life. Understand that wealth is attracted to value, not time. So increase your value every day. Strengthen your discipline, because it's the bridge that carries you from vision to victory. Renew your mind daily, because your thinking sets the ceiling for your life. Speak life, because your words are architects of your reality. And honor your daily habits, because they are silently multiplying your results, even when you don't see it yet. This isn't about a massive overnight shift. It's about the consistent application of principles that compound over time. Greatness doesn't show up all at once. It reveals itself in quiet moments of discipline, in unseen sacrifices, and in the decision to show up every single day. So stop waiting for the perfect time. The time is now. Take what you've heard and build with it. Speak it. Live it. Own it. Because your future is not waiting on more time. It's waiting on more of you.